make sure that my voice is unclear. But yeah, are you ready?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to not, make a big deal out of it.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I hope.
Okay.
I mean, I want it to be, but yeah. So, yeah. So, hi Jenny.
Hi.
So, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
My name is Jenny. I'm about to be 22 years old. I study fashion management and business. Yeah, I'm here as an exchange student from Sweden. So, yeah, and I really like it here. I don't know. What else? I don't know if this is... I don't know. What should I say? What do you want to know?
How about we move on to you telling us about what your average day is like. You can tell us what your average day is like here in Manchester or in general. It's up to you.
Well, I try to get up quite early. I like to get the most out of my day. I mean, it depends, because at home quite early used to be 5:45 in the morning, and here quite early is 7:30. So it depends, when my class starts and all that. But yeah, so I get up at 7:30 here, and I like to have a lot of time in the morning. So I wouldn't say I'm a morning person, but I like my mornings to be calm and get ready for the day. I usually have 1.5 to 2 hours before I have to leave my house. I like making a nice breakfast, and taking the time to the worst thing ever is when I miss my alarm. It rarely happens. It happened 3 times in my life, but when it does, it's the worst thing ever. Just get ready in a rush and run out the door and not have time for breakfast or coffee. That's just the worst thing. So yeah, I like my mornings to be calm and nice. And then I usually go to a few lectures. Yeah, I usually bring my own lunch. Trying to be, saving some money, being healthy, I guess. Yeah, probably after my lectures, go to the library for a bit. Sometimes I'm studying, sometimes just procrastinating, doing other things. Yeah, and I like to go to the gym as well, so I'm trying to go there 3 times a week. That's my goal. Yeah, and then just at night, I might make dinner, I might not make dinner, depending on if I'm feeling lazy or not. And then just spending way too much time on my phone. That's a habit I'm trying to get rid of, and start to read more, or I don't know, do something of value instead of just sitting on my phone scrolling through Instagram. So yeah, I'm trying to get more out of my day, actually. That's actually I guess I'm trying, because I'm going back to Sweden in about a month, and I want to make the most out of the time I have left here. So I'm trying to set my alarm for 7 every day. Just get up and really get the most out of the day. And yeah, so let's see how that goes. Yeah.
So you said, I know that you study fashion management. What got you into that?
Well, I've always been interested in fashion and something creative. I'm very into music, and I like playing instruments. I used to play cello and piano, and I used to draw as well when I was younger. So I wanted to do something creative, but at the same time I want to do something more I guess abstract, or logical, or something like that. And then I found this education in Sweden that's called fashion economics, and I felt that sounded like the perfect mix of the two. But yeah, but the thing is, I think I was a bit too I guess too goal oriented, had a bit of a tunnel vision, because I know that I want to study this program for since the first year of high school, basically, when I first found out about it. So I didn't bother looking into other options or doing other research. So now looking back, I kind of I feel like I should have chosen something else. Especially like in my school in Sweden as well, because we have it's like a textile center of Scandinavia, kind of. It's really cool actually. And now looking back, I realized they have another course that's called like textile engineering, which I think would suit me better. But mainly because I don't know, I just thought economics was more like math, but it's not, in my opinion. So I kind of miss math as a subject. So I like structure, and because I feel like economics is more like studying like concepts and different terms, and not so much about like actual maths. So yeah.
About maths, you said structure.
Yeah. Well, I'm like getting excited. I mean, I don't know. Like, I like that it's like, it's wrong or it's right, because I do not. What I don't like with economics is that everything is so like, it depends, or like depends on the situation. Everything is so like, everything changed depending on like who you ask or in what situation you are. But like maths are always like the same. Like, 1 + 1 is always going to be equals 2, and there might be like several different ways of coming up to the answer, and like different ways to calculate the same things, which is also, I guess, like being creative in a way, because like seeing the different possibilities to solve this problem, but there's only like one right answer. And that's why I also hate when like all these writing assignments. Like I hate writing. I mean, wow, I'm so contradictory. I like writing, but only when it's like, what I feel like writing, just free writing can be pretty calming, I guess. But I don't like when someone is grading what you've written, because like text and papers, assignments and things like that, because there's just so many things you can do, especially looking back at the previous assignments I've had here. They're all just so like broad and so loose, and I'm like, well, just tell me what you want. Like, give me a list, like this and this and this is like what it should contain and what it should be about. And they're like, yeah, no, like you can take it like which direction you want. And I'm like, okay then. And then I get it graded. I just got the result the other day, and I was like, this is not like, I'm not happy with this result. But at the same time, I know why I got it, because they didn't give me more structure. So that's kind of how I feel about that. So math is like the opposite, and I feel like I know what's expected from me, so it's easier to live up to it. I think that's like, yeah, I think that's why. Very like wanting to know everything about everything, very like, how do I say, like knowledge seeking, I guess. Which I still am to this day, but not the same. But when I was younger, I would always like, I mean, a lot of children do this to a certain degree, like just asking questions all the time, like, what is that? And like, why is this? And you like, give them an answer, and they're like, yeah, but why? And they just keep going forever. But I really wanted to know why. And especially, in class, or like, I guess daycare, I hated when teachers were like, this is just the way it is, or, and I was like, yeah, but why? And they're like, no, I mean, you don't have to, like, you don't have to learn this in order to, pass the test or something. But I would be like, yeah, but why? Tell me. And I would always like want to learn new things. Like, I love like making different, like crafting, I guess that's what you call it. It's like one day I was like really into like learning how to knit, and like, what was the other thing, like crochet, I guess that's what it's called. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to draw manga, and I'm gonna learn to like, I'm gonna make my own like jewelry or like necklaces or whatnot, and like, yeah. And then I started like dancing, and like I did like different types of dancing, and but I was also very I was gonna say stubborn, but I don't think I was that stubborn as like other children. Like when I think about stubborn, I think about like other friends that are like more stubborn than me. But I think I can come across stubborn because, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't take criticism very well. We have a lot of video evidence on that. Like, we have this video like where we used to go skiing with my family, and like the first time we went skiing, I think I was 5. You know, that's pretty normal in Sweden. Like you go for like a skiing semester, a skiing vacation every year, like from very young age, and like, you know, but like I refused to go in like the skiing classes for kids. Like I really didn't want to do it. Like and my parents were like, well, how else are you gonna like learn how to ski? I'm like, no, I really didn't want to. Like I was like crying, you know. They were like, okay, maybe we're not gonna ski this year then. So
what
I just
was
like,
the reason you didn't want to, or do you not remember?
I mean now, like when I know I'm an INTJ, like everything falls into place. I just didn't like the thought of like being around other kids and like learning something new, like learning a new skill that's so new to me. And I felt like everyone is probably going to be better, and that like if I need extra help with something, like the teacher is just going to be like, oh, you know, just like they're not going to like care about me that much, I guess. And you just feel like completely out of place. I think that's why. But like even as I got older, like we tried each year to make me like stand on the skis for more than like 5 minutes because I hated it, because I was like, I have no control, and like my skis are just going everywhere, you know. And like to this day, the first time I had a skiing lesson was like 3 years ago, which was a very good thing, because now I'm like, okay, now I can, like, it did help me a lot. It gave me like a lot of useful tips. But I would never, but it was just me and my friend, and we had like private lessons for 2 hours. But I would never like go into like an actual like class or group. I don't know. But also, yeah, like I couldn't take criticism when I was little. I just hated when people were like, not so much telling me what to do, I guess to a certain degree, but like in class, if like everyone was talking, you know, really loud, and the teacher would be like, you know, they would like call out someone and just be like, hey, you, like, you know, be quiet. And sometimes they did to me, and I just felt that was so unfair, because I was like, I was never the loudest child in the classroom. But like a few times when someone, like the teacher told me, because I don't know, I guess I was the only one talking, just like when they looked at me or something. I would just take that so personal. I was like, why did she tell me to be quiet when all these other kids are like being so much louder than me? And I just felt like personally attacked. Like I could like start crying for things like that. I would be like, you know, why are they mad with me? I mean, they're not mad at you. They just, you know, they just want people to be quiet and pay attention and things like that. And yeah. And again, like I hate when like my parents are like angry with me. It rarely happens. And like even if they're not even angry, they can just be like the smallest thing, like, you know, like I was out like biking with my mom or something, and it was like a small, like we were crossing a road. It wasn't like a super busy road, but it was like, you know, there were cars like from time to time. And because she told me before, you know, like at every crossroad you had to like, you know, slow down, like, and, you know, look at both directions before you can cross. And then like I didn't. I was like, you know, it's fine. Like I didn't, you know, I just kept going because I didn't see a car, in my opinion. And then when we got home, my mom was like, yeah, you know, like, Jenny, like, you have to be careful when you cross the street. Like, that's not good. And I, like, started crying. I got so upset. I was like, oh, you don't love me. And, like, oh, my God, I'm like, you must be so disappointed in me. Like, how can you, like, put up with me? I'm such a, like, bad child. And, like, I would be, like, crushed. My mom was like, of course I still love you. I just want you to be careful when you're crossing the street. Like, I feel like that sums up a lot of my childhood. Like, and I was very sensitive as well. That brings on to that. I think that's being sensitive to criticism. I'm sensitive to a lot of things when I was a child as well. I mean, I still am sensitive, but I guess I kind of like build up this wall in a way, like as a self-defense mechanism, because, you know, I can't just like go around crying all the time, you know. And I've also like thinking back. I mean, like I've heard like especially my brother and my dad, they would call me like, I don't know, like it sounds bad, but like the the like, I don't know, the porcelain doll, like the glass doll or something, like in Swedish, and they're really like, oh, you're just like, you're so sensitive, and like they kind of make fun of me. And I mean, they don't think they're doing anything wrong, and of course, like, yeah, maybe it was annoying that I kept crying about everything, but to me, like, I really, really hated when they said that. I mean, yeah, I can understand what they're saying, what they're coming from, but I didn't make it up. Like, I can't help what I'm reacting, what I'm feeling, and I feel like that's might be like one of the reasons why I am like a lot more like cold and distant today, because like when I was younger, I was just like, you know, I'm very like, I absorbed everything at once, so it got like too overwhelming, and in order to like cope with that, I kind of like shut it out instead. I think that's why. And again, like reading about like INTJs as a child, like I can relate so much to that as well. You know, just being like, you know, and I've been reading about this as well, like being sensitive, and like how that's not a bad thing, and like kind of just realize that that's not a bad thing. Like it just means that you're like your senses are actually more like active than other people's senses, and like you just experience things more intense. So for example, like I'm very sensitive to light and sounds, and yeah, so it's not just being like, you know, overreacting, it's that I'm actually reacting stronger than some other people. So like sensitive for me is not a bad word anymore, like a negative word. It just means that I'm actually experiencing things more intense than other people. That's how I see it. Oh, that was nice.
What advice would you give baby Jenny now that you know all of this?
Like, I don't know, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, just don't be so hard on yourself, and like, yeah, I don't know, it's okay to be quiet, it's okay to be sensitive, but just know that, like, I don't know, there's like quite a lot of things I want to say to myself, but yeah, just like, I don't know, I want to say go with the flow, but not really. But yeah, just don't care too much of like if people are like, yeah, you're so sensitive, or how can you react so much to this like insignificant thing, you know, like if you're reacting to it and if you're feeling it, it's valid. So
having talked about, you know, being sensitive and stuff,
yeah,
still, do you think you're still sensitive today, in the same way that you said that you're not as sensitive as you were growing up, but you feel in today's world,
I mean,
be considered sensitive?
The thing is, like, because of this like MBTI and things, like, it's actually helped me so much, because I now realize that, like, what do I realize? That like I am super sensitive. That's why I'm not sensitive, because if I would allow myself to like feel everything like that I'm feeling, and like to react to everything that I'm like yeah, sensing and feeling around me, like I would just break down. I would be like, I don't know, like just overstimulated all the time. Like my brain would just be like, oh, look at this, and like, you know. So instead, I think I'm just getting like, I guess I'm putting up this like wall in order to just, I don't know, like live my life, because I want to as well, like I want to focus on everything at the same time, you know, like, oh, I want to do this and this and this and this. So instead I have to like block it out and just like try and focus on one thing at a time. And yeah, so I mean, I might come across as less sensitive, and I might try and show that I'm not as sensitive, but it's more like a self-defense mechanism than anything. So I guess like either, but I'm also like either or. I'm very either or. I'm like, you know, either completely like interested in anything, just like this interests me like nothing, you know, or I'm like, this is the most interesting ever, like I can't stop thinking about this thing, and like I need to like do this every day until I feel like okay, I can move on with my life. It's literally like a lamp, like a light switch. It's all or nothing, and I think like that's kind of a thing that like you can see in like all areas of life, of my life. It's like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it like, you know, full-heartedly, like wholeheartedly. What do you say? Head first. I'm not gonna bother doing it at all. And it's the same thing. I think I told you this like one of the first meetings, that like if I set a goal, I'm gonna achieve it. Like I'm not gonna bother setting a goal if it's just a wish. Like someone said, or like a quote I read. I didn't write it. That was like, a goal without a plan is just a dream, and I think that that's very true, and it applies to a lot of aspects of my life. Like, if I'm gonna, I don't know, get like the highest grade in this course, and I really, really want that, then I'm gonna make it happen, you know? Yeah. And it's the same thing with people, like either I'm gonna like have you, like if I want you in my life and I know that like it's mutual, like I know that how do I put this? So either like we're gonna be like close friends, you know, or we're not gonna talk at all, basically. Of course I have like some, you know, acquaintances or people that I talk to, but if they're not giving me what, like if we're not on the same page on this relationship, it's not gonna, like, I'm just gonna let it go. And that's also a thing, like I have no problems with like letting people go if I don't feel like we're on the same page. Like if you never reach out to me and tell me how I'm feeling, if you never ask me like, let's hang out or something, then I'm not gonna be the one to ask you like continuously if you keep like shutting me down or if you keep not answering me or something. So, and like from one day to another, if someone like does something really like unapologetic to me, like something that it's just like, no, you know, like I have my standards, I have my limits. Like if you cross that line, I have no problem just like, you know, like slamming the door in your face and like stop talking to you. But I probably wouldn't say like, oh, I mean, it depends. Like if I care about this person a lot, then I will tell them like, okay, you hurt me in this way, or like this was not okay. But if I don't really care about them that much, I would just stop talking to them. I don't know how I would put into this, but you know, cool.
Yeah. Would you prefer the world with feelings, full stop, or without feelings, full stop?
With feelings.
Okay. Why?
That might be surprising. I mean, I just feel like, I don't know, today's society is already getting more like without feelings, like it's moving toward no feelings. And I just feel like it's human to have feelings, and we need feelings. We need to be like compassionate towards each other. And when you like, it's human to me to have feelings. And like without feelings, I mean, that includes like happiness, that includes like, you know, it's not just like the soppy, like, oh, I'm so sad, and like, oh, I mean, because if you're never sad, you're not gonna know when you're happy, and whatever it means to be happy. But that's another topic.
What does it mean to be happy? That was one of the things I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
What does happiness
I hate that question. I don't know. Being content, no, but just like I think happiness for me is like when you don't want to be anywhere else, when you feel like I have everything I need in this life right here, right now, and I'm not thinking about like, hey, what am I gonna do next year, what am I gonna do tomorrow? Like you're not like in the future, and you're not like thinking about, oh, the past was so much better, or you're not thinking about, oh, what if I had this, what if I had that? Like when you just like, when you don't want anything else than what's in this moment, I think that's happiness. And I guess, I mean, it's like a thing. It's like, oh, you know, every person is searching for their own happiness, and like once you find your own happiness, that's when your life is complete or whatnot. But I don't think you can ever be like happy for like an extended period of time. For me, that's like, it's kind of sad, but I mean, I just feel like it feels like unattainable to say that, like, you know, live happily ever after or whatnot. But for me, like the times I've been happy, but I've only been happy for, you know, for the moment. And then I'd be like, okay, but I feel also like if I were to be like completely like content in this situation, if I would be like completely happy right now, I don't think I would have like the drive to keep doing things. You know, it sounds very sad, but like if I were like happy with the way my life is, like completely fully happy right now, then I wouldn't have any drive to like keep achieving things, and that would be kind of scary. Like, what do I do with my life if I'm just gonna walk around being happy all the time? That sounds so cynical, but like, I don't know. Yeah, that's happiness.
Like you said, you like to set the goal. So now you have one yet? Your goal?
Like in life, or like my next goal?
Yeah, both.
To find happiness. No. I mean, I guess it kind of changed because one of the, like, I guess the most attainable or closest goals was to become like, I don't know, a successful buyer or something for like a fashion company, because I thought that was my dream. But now when I'm like thinking about it, and like, yeah, I don't think that's my dream anymore, and like I don't think that's my goal. So it's weird, because in a way it's like losing a purpose, because I've been like trying to, like, it's like this is where I'm heading towards, you know. But at the same time, I don't really feel lost anyways, because I always you know, I just strive to learn more things and like gain knowledge, and as long as I'm learning new things, I'm guessing that's like a way of working towards happiness, or like whatever that means. Wow. I don't really know. I guess my goal in life is just like, first to never stop learning and never stop being like enthusiastic of like attaining new knowledge. And I'm guessing just like finding, this sounds so like, I don't know, I want to find like inner peace. Like, it just, I like that. It sounds very nice. Don't really know what it is yet, but if I can work towards it, I think that's a good thing. So I mean, it's different like goals. I mean, like I said, like a goal without a plan is just a dream, but dreams can be good as well, you know, because I mean, a goal is something I know I want to achieve, and it's like something tangible. But like, for example, I guess my next goal is just to graduate, you know, to get my bachelor's degree with more like, what do you call it here, like more higher grades than just passes, if that makes any sense. I guess that's kind of my goal right now. So that's something I'm gonna, you know, plan to achieve. But like in general, like I said, just like a dream could be, you know, finding inner peace, or dreaming about like, I had a dream before I came here to live in England, and so that's like kind of a dream that I'm living now, because I've always wanted to do this. So it's like they keep like coming up new things, and I guess goals are also like New Year's resolutions is kind of like a goal to me. It sounds a bit, I don't know, cliche maybe, but I do take New Year's resolutions pretty seriously, because it's a way of like self-improvement, and I'm very, very into like self-improvement things. So that's also like a type of a goal.
So we're in May now. Have you kept up with your New Year's Year's resolution for 2018?
Yes, I do. I think so, and that's also not a super clear goal, but it's still like, you know, I just wanted to do like say yes to more things and try and be more like spontaneous and like get out of my comfort zone even more, and I've had similar like goals like this the previous like the past 2 years, but the first one was more like, you know, more tangible things like, I don't know, get out of your room more often because I see that as a good thing, you know, trying to try new things as well. But now it's more of, you know, if you don't have like a valid reason not to do this thing, then do it. Of course, I can decide like what is a valid reason, and if a valid reason might be that no, like I literally like I've been hanging out with people for the entire week, like I need to go home and like get a break, like that's fine. But if haven't seen anyone for a week and there's like this event going on Friday, then I'm like, okay, you know, I don't really have a reason not to go. Like it's good for me to get out and like do something. So yeah, but I mean, just coming here is like a goal in itself. It actually is, because so the first so my school in Sweden, like how to put this, so depending on like what grades you get on your first year of uni, decides on like where you can go abroad. So if you have like good, the better grades you have, the better chance you have of getting where you want to go, you know. So they rank you in like that order. So the previous years they told me they only had two placements in Manchester, like 2 people that could come here. They actually changed this year, so we were 6 people in total, which is a good thing. But there's still like some people in my class who didn't make it, even though they wanted to come here. So that's like an accomplishment in itself, you know.
So you told us how you, growing up, you knew what you wanted to do exactly. But by growing up, that was you said in high school you found out about the major that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
But growing up as a child, what did you want to do? Again, going back to baby Jenny, what did baby Jenny want to be when she grew up?
Successful. I think that sums it up as well, like as a goal in life. I want to be successful, whatever that means. I'm not sure, but I do see myself like I have high plans and high ambitions for myself. I'm just not really sure what it is. But I read somewhere again that like successful means that like doing something every day that's gonna like take you take you somewhere. So like if you do something every day that's gonna lead to something in the future, something meaningful, then you are successful, kind of. I thought that was interesting and not weird. But yeah, what do I want to? Well, actually, I think the first thing I remember, I wanted to be like a vet, you know, taking care of animals, because like every child wants to do that, I think. And then for a while, I wanted to be a hairdresser. I was actually pretty close to applying for like a hairdressing high school thing, a practical education. But then I was like, yeah, but what can I do if I don't want to do that anymore? Like then I don't have anything to fall back on. But I was actually pretty close to becoming a hairdresser, which is now looking back, I'm like, no, I could not do that. But and then I wanted to be a fashion designer as well, as a lot of people, I think. So then I think that was when I realized, you know, I'm really interested in fashion and clothes and stuff. So that was, you know, when I found about this education that I'm doing now. I'm like, oh, that's good, because it's still like in the fashion industry, but it's like more the business part of it, like the everything around it. But now I'm kind of unsure again. So, but I still, because I was talking with my friend the other day when I was in London, and she said that, I mean, she's like, then why aren't you just? Because I was telling her, like, I'm not sure if I'm studying the right thing for me. And she's like, yeah, but why don't you just quit And I was like, I can't just quit. I mean, I've done almost 2/3. I mean, I've done 2 out of 3 years soon. And that would just feel like a waste of time if I'm just going to, not follow through. And again, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to follow through. And I feel like, it's not a waste of time, because if I hadn't started doing this degree, then I wouldn't have known what I like and what I don't like. So for me, it's like part of the journey, I guess. And like for each course I'm taking, I'm learning something new about myself and what I like and what I don't like. So I don't think it's a waste of time. The way she put it, she was like, yeah, well, if I didn't like what I was doing, I would just quit immediately. But I'm like, yeah, but it has taken me 2 years to realize that I don't like it. So it can't be that bad, I mean, I've had some friends who dropped out after 1 semester, which I think is fine, but not after 4, So I mean, it's just 1 more year. I might as well. And yeah, I don't think it's completely wrong, and it's not that I hate it anyways, but it's, I just don't think that this is like, I don't have the same drive anymore. So yeah, we'll see where it takes me.
Well, what does fashion mean to you, and what do you think it meant to you when you were...
What did you say?
Yeah, what does fashion mean to you, and what did it mean to you when you first started thinking that this was the thing for you? Do you think it changed your idea of fashion?
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why I don't feel as driven anymore, because I feel like my idea of like the concept of fashion has kind of changed like fundamentally for me the past like months, which is pretty interesting as well. Well, first, fashion was like everyone says, like it's a way of expressing yourself, and it's fun, like all these colors, and like very creative. And I mean, I do enjoy just walking around like stores, just looking at clothes and like looking through fashion magazines, because I like things that are like, I don't know, aesthetically pleasing. I'm into art as well, so it's like it's a type of art and expression and colors, like it's nice. But now lately I just feel like it's just so superficial, like the entire industry. Like it's basically like the more I learn about it, the more like, okay, this is not good. Like the textile industry is like the next largest like environmental like problems, like after cars, and that's insane. And just the entire mentality of like it's getting faster and faster, and like we need more and more clothes, and like we're just ruining the planet more and more. And it's just so many like downsides to the whole concept, and it's just like so superficial again. And I feel like the type of people that take the courses that I'm studying, like we don't have that much in common. I feel like I thought it was only a thing, like I thought it was only like a misconception or like a stereotype that like fashion people are a bit like, yeah, superficial. That's how I can put it. But they kind of really are. I feel really bad. I don't want to call anyone out, but I just feel that I just miss a type of depth, and I think that's hard to find when it's all about appearance and what you look like, and like, oh, how much is that, and who wore what, and at what event. And like, it's fun to a certain degree. I mean, that's what I used to like. I still enjoy it to some degree, but there's just so many other things, like so many other areas in life that I feel that I could do more good in. I mean, I am interested of like, as I see, if or when or how. Oh, I have this piece of hair here. Like if I'm gonna become a buyer or something, I would want to focus on like better, like fair working conditions, and like working with new like sustainable textiles, and like finding these new alternatives that are better for the environment and things like that, because that actually makes a difference. And I feel like there's just so many opportunities and like so many new exciting things that are coming into this area. But at the same time, because now I'm studying a lot of management courses, and I just feel like it's it's just not, like, I don't know, mentally challenging enough for me. I'm just sitting there like, yeah, I mean, like, I just feel like there are like other things that I could be doing with my time, essentially.
What could you be doing with your time?
That was a very unexpected question. Sorry. I don't know. That's the thing. But just like not, because I realized that I kind of hate marketing, or as we call it here, brand management for fashion. Because it's just essentially just like brainwashing people into buying more things. And when you look at it that way, it's kind of like disgusting in a way. But that's again, like, I don't really know like what I want to do in the future, what I want to do in the future. Like, and also I don't really have a problem with not working towards like a bigger purpose or a bigger goal. Like, as long as I feel that I can do something like productive, and I can, like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but because some people are like, oh, I don't care what I'm actually doing for a living, as long as I know that it's like it's gonna contribute to the bigger picture. But for me, like, I don't know, I don't really care that much. But I just want to do something. I don't really know what I want to do. That's the thing. I mean, I'm the happiest when I can just like really delve into a subject and just like really go into depth into something. Preferably alone. Like, I don't think I could ever work in like an open office landscape type of setting. Like, even if what I was doing was like, even if I was enjoying the actual work, I couldn't do that. Like, I need like a room where I can like close the door and just be like focusing on this one thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's so much of like what the actual like subject is. It's more of being able to like focus like in my own time, and like putting all the effort that needs to be put on this, and not be like distracted by like, I don't know, people coming talk to me, or having like tons of different assignments that I need to be doing. Like, I really just like, I want to do one thing and one thing only. And I really want like, I want structure, I want like routines. I don't mind. I mean, I don't want like every day to be the same, but I still want everything to be like within the same subject, or like within the same area. So again, like, it's not so much as like what I do, is more of like how I do it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
What does love mean to you?
Love.
Or compassion? It's a word that you used earlier. But love too, if you'd like to define love.
I don't know. Just like caring for someone, like unconditionally, I guess. It's like when you, depending if it's like romantic love or just like love in general, but just like feeling this like affection, and feeling like you can do, you care about what this person is going through, like just very, like caring very, very deeply for someone, and also being very like connected to them as well, I think. But I'm trying to like, I guess you can love someone without being connected, like super connected to them. Depending on, I don't know, like, I love my brother, I love my dad, I love my mom to death, because I care about them a lot. Like, I care about like what they're doing, what's going on in their life. I care about them very deeply, and because they're family. But I don't necessarily like spend time with them a lot. I mean, my mom, I'm closest to my mom family wise. But I mean, like, I rarely hang out with my brother. Like, I don't think we've ever like done anything, just the two of us, in like, I don't know, 10 years. Like, it's really bad. But it's because I've talking to other people who has siblings, and they're just like, how can you not like hang out? Like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, just, like, how we hang out would be like, I don't know, playing a video game together. But like, we would never like go out and like do something. But that's fine, I still love him. So, because I care, you know. And then, yeah, I guess love is just like caring about someone very deeply, and also thinking about them. Like if you're doing something in like your daily life, and you're like, oh, this person like would have liked this, or this person, I wonder what this person would have like thought or felt in this situation, or like I don't know, when you're like relating things to them. Yeah, I'm not really like good with, I don't know, love. Huh?
How are you not good with love? What do you mean by that?
No, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
It's just like, it's, you know, like what even is love? Like, like how do you know if you love someone? I don't know. I just, yeah, I get like the closest I can say is just like when you care about someone very, very deeply and feel connected to them, I guess. But it's just, I guess when people are like, yeah, like, I mean, I don't know if I've been in love, because like, what is that? Because no one can say it, because like everyone describes it so differently, you know. And it's, some people are like, yeah, well, you know, you're in love when you're like, I don't know, they're just explaining this like some type of like, you know, amazing like world that you don't want to leave, and it's like, oh, this is amazing, like it's just this, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of super hyped up, and I'm like, I don't know if I've ever feel that hyped about anything. Like, I don't know, I just, yeah, I guess because everyone's like describing it differently, so me included. So I don't really, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe if there was a right answer or a specific definition, bringing this back to black and white subjectivity, do you think that has to do with this problem that you're having?
That I want things to be like structured in black and white? Yeah, I mean, probably. Yeah, because everyone like experiences things differently, and I don't know.
And you don't necessarily like that?
Huh?
You don't
No, I don't have any opinion about it. Like, like you said, you know, like, what do you think about subjectivity? Like, I don't think anything. That's just how someone views something. Like, I'm probably super subjective in lots of situations without even knowing it anyways. So, I mean, it's so true. When I heard them talk about this, like, on a YouTube video or something, and they were like, you know, sorry, you know, like everything you experience is like based, like how you react in every situation is a reaction from like, or a build-up of everything you've experienced in your life, and like your own thoughts and your own values. So, you know, what even is real, like what actually happened, like, because if you ask 10 different people who were there witnessing the same thing, they're all going to tell you different stories about what happened. So I think we're all just subconsciously subjective. That's my conclusion. Yeah, but I do prefer objectivity, and that's also because sometimes people can be, you know, very irrational. This also, you know, being rational is very nice. You know, some people can just be like completely irrational when like something happened. They would like, either they break down crying, or they'd be like super angry and like, how could this person do this, and like, how could you say that, and like, oh my god, and like all these drama. And I'm just like, it's really not that big of a deal. It's you know, you might have interpreted the whole thing wrong, but at the same time, I mean, I guess I'm pretty subjective sometimes as well, because I was talking about it earlier that I'm super sensitive. So I don't know, maybe I'm the subjective one. I don't know, but I do prefer like when people can just like take a step back and like, okay, what is this actually, and like not be so like, personally offended of it, and just, yeah, objectivity is always nice.
So earlier you mentioned being an INTJ, which is
That's me.
which is like part of the Myers-Briggs personality indicator world. Yeah, would you like to tell us a bit more about that? Just maybe how you got into MBTI in the first place.
Yeah, so it was a friend who just out of nowhere texted me. She's like, hey, I just took this personality test. It's really cool, you should try it. I think we're similar, that's what she said, which is interesting because she's an ENTJ. So yeah, we were pretty similar, so she was right about that. Yeah, so that's how she got me to take the test. And then I was just mind blown. I was like, what is this? This is so exciting, you know? And I just kept reading for days. I was like, can't wait to get back from school so I can read more about the MBTI, literally. It just explained so many things for me. Yeah, MBTI, even if it's, might have its flaws and people are criticizing it, it's always gonna mean something to me, have a special place in my heart and my life, because it's, it explains so many things. Like I told you, being a child and now looking back at things and understanding why I reacted the way I reacted in different situations. It's because my personality, it all fits with my personality type, and it doesn't. I'm not weird. I'm not wrong in what I think and what I feel. It's just how I perceive the world. So it just makes so much sense, and yeah, it was a huge relief. Actually, that's what it was, a relief. And then I didn't do much, think much about it for 2 years, and then I came here. Yeah. And I guess for me, it's more of a tool as understanding myself. Of course, it's interesting to try and understand your environment and other people as well, but for me it has mainly been a tool to understanding myself and to improve myself. And like I said, I'm into self-improvement and just being the best version of yourself, and what is before this, obviously I've heard about introversion and extroversion before, before MBTI and all that, but it wasn't something people talked about. And I just had the view that a lot of people, I guess, have or used to have, introverts are just shy people, and we know that's not true. But it's, yeah, it did change my perspective of myself, and it helped a lot. And it's helping me becoming more, not just secure about myself, but also just it's fine. Everyone is different, and even if people might act they have everything figured out, they know who they are, we all have our, I don't know, problems or struggles, and that's fine. And yeah, and I was gonna say, yeah, the book Quiet by Susan Cain, please read it if you haven't, everyone. And that is more focused on, it doesn't have anything to do with the Myers-Briggs, but it's focused on extroversion and introversion. And she estimates that between 1/3 and half of the population are actually introverts. So I think that says a lot about how our culture is still you think that everyone is extroverted. If I would guess, I would say maybe before I read this book, I would probably say 1 in 10 people are introverts, but it's just so many more than that, and that's also very comforting knowing that. And this book is just it's changed my perspective on a lot of things. So I guess Myers-Briggs was more like an explanation of why I view the world the way I do. But her book is very in depth, and how you can use it, introversion as a tool, and like how you. There's even a chapter that I'm reading right now, and it's like, in what situations should you act more extroverted than you actually are, and in what situations should you just like embrace the introvertedness, and how it differs. It's also very interesting how it differs from like the East and the West. So like around Asia, it's very, being like quiet and like, I guess, introverted, or like think before you speak is very highly valued. And here it's like, there was even some quotes from like the, I don't know, like way back, like several hundred years ago. They found this like old scripts, and they were all like, like some of them even said like speaking is a sin. Like that's a pretty like big statement. And if you look at the like old scrolls or scriptures from the West, or like from Europe, it was like, if you can't speak, you're not a person, or like that's how, a man is someone who can speak for himself or something. And I think like the contrasts are pretty extreme, and so it's not so much as what's right and what's wrong. This book is more of a, finding the balance and realizing like all this is just different. Like it's just our culture. Like it's just how we've like build our society, and it doesn't make you like less intelligent or less worthy or whatnot. It's just, we're all just different, and like if you can learn and understand why the world is the way it is, then you can also improve yourself and like know how to react in this world.
Do you have any advice to anyone who's watching, just from Jenny to the world? Do you have anything you'd like to say as like a last words in this video?
Well, first of all, take the MBTI test. No, please do. It's like life-changing. Advice to the world. This is like really cliche, but just like, live your life. Like, don't think about what other people think. Do whatever feels right to you, and everything will fall into place eventually. I think so.
Good advice.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.